Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha, what's going on? This is Jeeps here, your old composer here at the Decomposer Lounge. And I guess you guys may have noticed that a lot of the stuff that I do lately have been snips from my Twitch sessions, be it even if it's songs that I pulled from my Patreon list. Of course, thank you all for that support. I've been kind of integrating it into Twitch. Well, today I decided, I just need to do a video for the channel, nice and organic and raw here, and not make it kind of a secondary edit. You know what I mean? This is what I'm doing for us here on the channel. So anyhow, that all being said, from the Patreon list, obviously is a song, a brand new song, I guess. I was just looking about the release date. Actually, it's only a day ago. This is the band Vola, and that is, if that is how they pronounce it, it reads like that, Vola. And the name of the track is Paper Wolf. So like usual, thank you guys for all the support, cups of coffee, joining me on Patreon, hanging out on Twitch. Let's do this. This is the band Voila and the new track that they just released a day ago called Paper Wolf. Let's do this. All right. A lot of stuff to unpack here. So they're opening kind of a layered sequence of things going. They're opening arpeggiation, that synthy sound that they had. Obviously, it was a precursor to a little bit of the energy that I felt was going to come out of this. But what I loved is they did an embellishment of the sequence, that the synth sequence that was opened up. It was, the synth sequence was still kind of setting that whole thing going. A little weird of an ambient vibe in the background. Then when the guitar comes in, they embellished on that pattern that was playing and exploded out of the gates with the drums. Now, one of the things I noticed about what's happening in production here, well, actually a couple things. The band takes over, the instrumentation kicks ass as band-oriented, drums, bass, guitar, etc. We still hear a little bit of a slight sequence in the background, and then there's just a little bit of an ambient hit. That's why we see a little bit in the video, the brief cut to the keyboardist that kind of keeps us into that kind of vibe. But here's what I love is when we get into the verse, we actually go into a cut time. But here's what's really slick about this. So we have still, that sick riff, that chugginess going on, that's already been established in that kind of vibe. We go into this cut time where the drummer's, holding quarters on the hi-hat, but in the background we're hearing kind of a shaker kind of vibe, an additional kind of percussive arrangement that's it's still keeping us in that, instead of dropping us into an authentic cut time. That really pulls it back and kind of gives you this really backseat heaviness. They kind of keep that in there, and I really super dug that. Now, of course, the vocals are insane. By the time the hook explodes, too, very bold, very fat hook, great vocal performance and stuff. But even the riff coming out of that is absolutely sick. The notation of the riff is freaking pulls for me. Oh, that's a trip. It's like the riff took a second seat behind that sequence. Oh. There's the chug. Great ghost notes by the drummer. Drummer's just freaking killing it. Ballsy breakdown coming, feeling it. Oh, geez. Chicken skin. That was sick. That was an absolutely mental breakdown right there. I would have loved, that could have gone on for at least another 16 bars as far as I was concerned. The second verse, when they came in there, remember I had said, well, it looks like they're really emphasizing the sequence. You saw me going, excuse me. So in the mix, they really emphasized that, and some of the guitar work pulled back. But just when I got through saying that, the second half of the first verse, the balls of the guitar punch in. Then you kind of see me go, because I was getting used to the rhythm pattern and the and the kind of riff, kind of the drone zone they got me into, and then they did that chord change. Then of course they go back into their hook. But geez, that breakdown was absolutely freaking mental. But I think it's really funny though, as I'm watching the video, I don't know much about guitars and styles and stuff, except for the few that I have and I play because of just what little playing I do. But I think it's really unique that I don't see like a traditional kind of like genty looking guitar. And this, especially, look, even where I stopped, you know, this looks like a very unique guitar brand and something like that. Of course, that has nothing to do with the music. I just kind of was like, oh, okay. They're stepping away from the status quo of maybe having something that looks super genty in the guitar, but looks have nothing to do with the sound. Such a whimsical kind of chorus, too. Nice background answer backs on the vocals. Nice background right there, vocals. Ha! Love the track. This was great. As a matter of fact, I definitely have to go back and check it out on my own time here. There's some really rich, thick layering that's going on with the synths. You know, it's not just a synth pad thing happening here and there. There's some very unique layering that's going on that's causing a lot of that ambience. That's kind of also kind of acting as kind of a magic carpet ride to the vocals of the hook, you know. But also that little section that came after the breakdown, one of the things that I noticed was really super cool is that the riff that was being played, the chugging that's being behind it, super squared off time with the kick right on top of it. I don't know if that's the exact pattern, But I like that in contrast to the fact that the drummer was playing a little bit more of an open pattern as the chug was lighting one off. That not every single chug was represented by a percussive strike. You know what I'm talking about? We hear a lot of that a lot of times in kicks that are always... Sometimes there's openness where there is a chug that's happening, and on a particular part of the chug in the rhythmical arrangement, that maybe there's not a kick or a snare or a hat in that space and stuff. Or if there is, it's very incidental. And to me, that adds the power to the riff. And the composition of this riff is very throaty and pulling. And it's a contrast to the fact that they have, like I said, this really pretty, whimsical kind of stuff. Sorry, guys, if I use the word pretty. In this really fat, super cool hook vocal that kind of glides and stuff in the hook. You know, the contrast was it was the heavier, darker riffs that were happening and stuff in the verse and the tug of war in the mixing. Like I said, in the second half or the first half of the second verse, they leaned a little more on the synth work, and then they punched us back in the gut with bringing the chug back in there. Love this. This is part of that movement in metal that I believe is pushing a lot of limits and stuff, and breaking down some doors, and listening to musicians who've been around a long time doing bands and stuff. Many albums in their discography expand on the possibilities that have been broken forward because of the fact that a lot of these other techniques are a lot more widely used. I don't know what the hell I just rambled on for that last 20 seconds, but it seemed to have made sense. Let me know if I made sense. I made sense or I didn't make sense. Anyhow, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for your support, the cups of coffee every now and then I still get, and also your patronage on Patreon if you decide you want to go hang out over there. Anyhow, I already said that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So that's nothing that I'm sticking to, and I'm out of here. You guys take care. All right.